Hey everyone. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. If you're living up north in the States like I am, hope you guys are staying buttoned up and warm in the cold. Because it's gotten really chilly as of lately. But like holidays are right in the corner, so let's do something that's holiday themed for today. So what I will go ahead and do, I'm gonna start with very light sketch. And I think what I will do is draw probably the man with the bag himself again. But I think what I will do is I'll draw him in a different style for once. In fact, you'll probably see what I mean in just a little bit. So for right now, let's get the overall main sketch out the way. So I can see right now with this red ballpoint pen, which I'm using right here, I'm going very light, just being very loose with my sketching. Just be very light, very loose. Be very loose, just kind of put everything together. Okay, so what I think I will do for Santa tonight, as for drawing this character, I think I'll probably draw him as an '80s like action movie star. So think of guys like Rambo, John McClane, Mel Gibson, the Deadly Weapon movies, more like those type of deal. And so I think what I will is I'll draw him more cartoon with those type of characters. So let me start with kind of drawing, his head up here at the very top. Let me just map the feature what his head's gonna be. Just start doing his eyes. Filling in a long but bulbous nose. We'll give him his mustache. Of course, okay, you can't forget his little beard. And I figure, since he's gonna be based on like '80s movie stars, why not give him an '80s hairstyle? I think I will do is actually give him like a mullet. I figure, what's Santa? In some pictures I've seen of Santa, he's got like long, like white hair. I mean, those days like, he could probably rock a mullet. So let's get that going. Let's get his suit going too. We get his arms. We get those nice and defined. I'll do a little foreshortening here since it's going to be holding out something towards us. We get his legs near the bottom. I think I'll have one of his legs actually jutting out towards us. One leg in the back and one further towards the viewer. And his bag of goodies in the back. And have his artillery of choice. Some could say it might be bazooka, but in this case, it's his gift delivery on weapon. This guy has something like very hard and very efficient in order to deliver those goodies, in record time. So I think now that we got our loose sketch going, let's start refining his features just a little bit more. So you know what? So let's start working on a very nice, like intense expression for Santa here. So he's probably scowling. Not because he's evil or he's mad or anything like that, because he knows he's on a really dangerous mission. He's got to deliver toys to all of these kids, but he knows that a lot of things that might run into. You ever know, him like riding in a sleigh with all these reindeer. He could see a UFO, an unidentified flying object. And a lot of folks out there, whether it be government officials, private officials, they might see in the sky and think, maybe it's aliens, maybe it's another threat. So as a result, they might want to take him out. So as a result, he's got to load up. He's got to make sure, he's heavily armed and ready to go. Because making sure he delivers like Christmas cheer to those kids, that's all that's more important to him. Yeah, so let's get that little mullet going pretty good. Yeah, I have a little bit going there, so it kind of looks like it's blowing in the wind a bit. Let me get his little arm here, his forearm, his little biceps. Let's get his hands here. And he's got his own like artillery weapons of choice. Like say for example, if he needs to fend someone off, a weapon, you never know. It could be like an ordinary household items. Almost like Home Alone stuff in a way, just like a symbol like Christmas ornament. What could be a simple decoration for one person's home is definitely weapons for another's. So let's get his waist, get his up part of his torso going up here. And let's get his little collar, his little furry collar going. Go get his belt, get his little belt buckle. With the bottom half, of his bottom half of his huge jacket. There we go. Let's bring it so we can see a little bit better. Then we bring out one of his legs a little bit more here. They bring out his boots. Just bring his leg out here. There we go. Now let's bring out his other arm here. I figure on top, even though he's a big guy, he's a very muscular guy too. To carry all that stuff around, he's got to have some good upper body strength. Let me get some. And of course, this is going to be his delivering gift thing. Some say it's an actual bazooka, but hey, you call it as gift. What's the word? What would be a good weapon? A good name for something like that? It's not a bazooka. Gift delivery gun. I bet that'd be a good name. I'll probably think of something better later on. Maybe for explanation, maybe a stack of his presents in the back. Maybe for extra measure, maybe he's got his own like little candy cane cigar. And he's not addicted to nicotine, he's just addicted to the sugar. And all the cigars up at North Pole, they're made of sugar. So I think that now that we got the overall rough sketch going, Let's go ahead and start actually refining this guy, with some darker colors. So instead of using that red like we were using here, let's use this blue for once. So I'm gonna start refining his expression at the top, really bring out his eyes. They get some wrinkles underneath his eyes because he's an older guy. Bring out his nose. Let's get his mustache going. His furry handlebar mustache. By the way, I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Yeah, I had a lot of various work related duties I had to take care of. A lot of various last minute Christmas shop I had to take care of. It was a lot I had to take care of earlier this week. With Christmas around the corner, I had to take care of it, but I was able to get that handled. So let's start working on his little beard. You can see it curls down and around his little ears. You can see it's real full and bushy. Let's get his ears right here. Now get a part of his little collar of his jacket here. Now let's start working on his hair. His 80s action styled mullet hair, if you will. Work on his arm here. Have that come out. His little forearm here, have that a little shorter because it's literally foreshortened since it's facing us, the viewer. We draw the furry collar at the end of his jacket. Let's do his little fingers. Then draw a little ornament in his hand. You can see the ornament. Usually I could do if I'm drawing a bolt. Just one circle and a little cylinder at top. There we go. Now that's looking good. Now that that's going, let's go and do the other one. This one won't be as foreshortened, since facing away from us. Get his little hand going. Here we go. Let's get a little torso. Those little furry edges, let's have that going down towards the center. Let's do his little belt buckle. Since he's an action star, instead of just being a regular belt, let's have it be more like an ammo belt. So have a lot of pouches. Maybe he's got some extra bullets on the side for some extra ammunition as well. Maybe it gets dangerous flying on the road, like what he has to do. He can have his little, the end tail end of his coat. Here we go. We'll bring this up a bit. There we go. Let's get his little legs going. Get the little ends of his little pants here. We get his boots, his large boots, his large combat boots. There we go. Now that's going good. Let's get his little bag of presents behind him. It's have to be one large sack. Maybe he's standing out in the snow, so it's gonna be partially covered up by that snow. Maybe some extra snow that's on this side. All right, I think it's looking pretty good. Let's see what else we can do here. Link first working on his hand a bit here. And get his little thing of choice kind of wrapped around his hand. And made the thumb out so it's more viewable. It's having one long cylinder shape. Maybe it's got a little nose scope at one end. So we can actually see a lot better. Here we go. I think I found a perfect name for his gift delivery weapon. So how about gift giving Gatlin? Even though it's technically not a Gatlin, it's really more of a bazooka, but those three GGs seems to run off the tongue a little bit better, don't you think? Three GGGs, if I meant to say. I think we're looking pretty good here. So now let's start going over a little bit of shading. Let's start filling in action clause. So I'm gonna start in the corner of his face. I'm just gonna lightly start building up layers in almost like a cross hatching motion. I normally do two in one sitting, but this one might take up all of our time for tonight. And so that's wonderful because I'm really starting to like how well this one's turning out. You know, since the light's gonna come from this direction, how the shadow's gonna be on this side. Stand by, give me just one moment. Let's add some more shade underneath his arm here. And part of what inspired me to try to draw, you know, like Santa like this is that, you know, like, you know, kind of an action star. I kind of got inspired by just watching the movie Die Hard not too long ago. And even though it's also an action movie, some consider, you know, a Christmas movie as well, since it does take place around Christmas time. And looking back, it's kind of funny considering what a huge hit that movie turned out because when you come to think of it, Bruce Willis at the time, he wasn't really a household name at the time. He was mainly known for doing a lot of like comedies on television at the moment. He wasn't really known for doing any big like action roles, at least not up until that movie. Of course, you know, once he started that movie, you know, like the rest was history. Some shells on his little basket here. I mean, his little gift basket. You're right. I'm slow, lightly kind of filling out all the shadows here, and I'm just kind of going in a cross hatching motion. You got his gift giving Gatlin, yeah, a little bit more definition. Get his little no scope going. Let's add some shading onto here. Let's add a little more underneath here. So look, his force is really in the shadows. Add some shadow underneath here, underneath his arm. There we go. You know what I think I will go and do now? Since I've already mapped out where my shells are going to be for the most part, let's start coloring in just a little bit, back to our red marker. Yeah, red pen. So let's say he's got a candy cane cigar. And then let's color that in. And let's color in his suit. It's going to be all red. Color his nose too. And for the most part, as I'm kind of coloring him, I'm kind of going like in uniform strokes, all in the same direction. So I'm just going to the whole body of his suit. Here we go. And then for shim, I'll start going back in the other direction. Make sure they're underneath that arm. And go to the whole arm here since it's kind of more in the shadow. I think I'll color the ornament in red as well. A little highlight in the middle. There we go. I think it's turning out nicely. So now instead of using red like we're using before, let's switch on to using the black. So now I'm gonna start like really accentuating all our outlines. So we're gonna really think out the outer outlines of this figure here. So now he'll really pop out on the page. There we go. It's looking good. And the guys are kind of blowing the wind because, like, let's say it's like a really windy night. He's doing this, so he's doing it out in the elements, out in the cold. Hope he's not dealing with the huge arc blast like we're dealing here in the States right now. Maybe some of the snow that's kind of crunched around his feet. Because I imagine he's probably on a really snowy hill or a really steep rooftop. Here we go. Make sure getting underneath is okay. Make sure those outlines are nice and thick. Excuse me. Bring his hand out more. Get around this ornament. This ornament that happens to have a fuse. We make his gift bag a little more pronounced in the background. And you can see it's also resting in the snow. There we go. Let's do the element gift giving Gatlin. Yeah, since it's holiday thing, I figured I'd do something just a little bit different for tonight. Something a little more offbeat, if you know what I mean. There we go. Make sure I get his little thumb here. I think the trigger's probably in another few things. That's why I can't really see his fingers. You know what? Let's get the bring out his little pouches a little bit more around his ammo belt. There we go. And go to the inside underneath his jacket. I think we're looking pretty good. So let's go back and do some more shading of our blue pen again. Kind of up that contrast. So like I'm doing before, I'm basically going on these cross-hatching patterns. Let me get a little shadow underneath his eyes. Yeah, sometimes it helps to go really bold when it comes to doing these shadows. Because the extra contrast makes a difference. Make it a little bit darker over here. There we go. Let's make it darker here on his left side. Well, not our left, his left. Make it darker underneath his beard, since all of that's going to be in shadow. There we go. All right, that's pretty good. Let's start working on his little arm here a little bit more. Let's build some darker shadows here in this little pocket right here. And let's kind of darken up his belt around here. Here we go. Kind of just darken around the edges. And let's start shading these little bulbs he's got around him. Since they're shiny, I'm not going to shy away from having some pretty big shadows here, like with this one. Same for this one. I'm not going to shy away from having any bold shadows. But of course, I'll probably go back with the blacking hard, make these even darker if I need to. Give it a nice, bold, dark shadow on these bulbs. I think I'll do the same for this one right here. And even though I'm cross, I'm going in the shape of the actual bulb itself. It always helps to start very light before adding extra pressure. Since you're working with a permanent medium, you gotta be a little more mindful what type of marks you want to make. I think that looks pretty good. Let me get around his hand. Shade underneath his little fingers. And since he lives in the cold year long, he probably doesn't mind it. So you have to worry about his fingers getting cold. That looks all right. Oh, let me get underneath his pant leg. Heck, while I'm at it, let's start coloring his whole boots in because I think I made his pant legs red. Is what I'm planning on doing. Add some extra shine underneath his torso. Let me get some more shells around his little arms. I'm just making very subtle strokes as I'm building up these shadows. Oh, we build an extra shadow on his little gift basket here. Let's make these shells a little bit darker down here. Dark enough so you can see them. He'll add some wrinkles here and there, little creases, little folds. That's all right. Now for his gift giving Gatlin, let me start shading more of that in over here. Now I'm basically looking at one big cylinder, even with all his little gadgets and gizmos on here. So I'm just starting very lightly. I'm slowly darkening up as I'm going in. We come to the bottom portion here. The bottom part is sticking out. We have the little band at the top. You know what? Now, I think we're good on the blue shade for right now. Let's come back with that red a little bit more. Really kind of fill him out just a little bit. So let's make his nose just a little bit more rosy. Don't really need too much, but just enough so it's noticeable. You know, color his little candy cane cigar. I think I'll start kind of filling out his redness a little. Our nose is not as red as I would like, so let's make it a little bit redder. We're just gonna use more and more like harder strokes. Since we got all of our main shadows down, like now we can start building up on them even more. So let's go darker with these shadows. These come out from this direction. Come out right here. We'll make some shapes are going against the direction of his body. Going on the shape of his arm. Let's get the bottom part of his little jacket here. Let's start pretty dark. We start fanning our way out. You know, darken more around underneath this bowl because I'll probably start darkening even more of a different color later on. Start making some more deeper marks here on this side, since this side's gonna be more in shadow. Yeah, so let's really get those deep shades going. So yeah, that's looking much better now. Good. It looks much redder. In fact, I can make it red more on this side. There we go. I like that much better. Now let's make sure we straighten his little arm here. more hard red lines here. Yeah, I'm basically just building on the shells we've already established over the past couple of minutes. The more colors we add, the more he starts coming to life. The more our action Santa Claus is coming to life. Or Action Claus, for short. It has a better ring to it, don't you think? So let's just build up even more. Just really build up these layers. It always helps to really work in layers. You know what? I think I'll color, his pants the same color of his jacket as well. So he's got a red suit. Actually, I should include just almost everything of it. I think that probably won't be red are the boots. Yes, let's start bold here and start fanning our way out. Going on the shape of that leg. Really start bringing out that vibrancy. And yeah, this is all just three colors, just red, blue, and of course black. Here we go. Start building a little more here. Bring more at the bottom. So a little more color to this bulb here. You bring a nice shiny and red. If you look at it now, it's probably more like a purplish color now. What purpose could we cover? I guess we cover this little GGG band right here. So that way, at least we can get a little life. So this GGG is giving Gatlin. So really accentuate those three G's. Now, I think what I'll do, let me go over with the black just a little bit more. I think I want to make these shadows just a little bit darker. So I'm just kind of letting go over the outline, but also just kind of adding some darker bits of contrast to some of the more deeper shadows. I think I'll add that shadow here underneath this candy cane. They have that in shadow. I didn't realize I hadn't shaded this part in yet. Let's go ahead and fix that right now. Start coloring in his belt a little bit more. And make that a little bit darker. Especially on his buckle. I didn't even realize I hadn't colored around the buckle yet. And color more dark around here. Yeah, some extra shells for his pant leg here. And around the fold of his jacket. Yeah, some shading to his shoes. Well, really his boots, his big combat boots. Just kind of darken just a little bit more. We can use that to darken our shadows we have underneath. Some extra shells on his leg here. And some extra darker shells for his boots here as well. Let's make that a little bit darker. We put this little pouch more in the shadow. Here we go. Now do some more in our gift giving Gatlin. And let me change the font a little bit more. Still need to work on trying to doing font a little bit better. Just darken these shades a little bit more, especially underneath the underside. Add some of the shells underneath his feet. Shells from where his gift basket is. Hmm. Now that I've gotten everything down, let me try to use the red color to fill everything out just a little bit more. Just add a little bit extra to kind of really make things come to life just a bit more. He has an extra shell at the end of his little gift basket here. Okay. Kind of blend in the shadows here. We got on his GGG. You know what? I think I'll make the top, all red too. The banner's red, so I'll just make the top all red as well. Or at least reddish. Yeah, I think we're almost done here. So I think another thing we can do. Well, hang on, let me get his face real quick. Kind of more life to his skin. You know what? Now I'm thinking we can make them pop is that let's start coloring our backgrounds a little bit. We're just in blue. Actually, let's go the other direction. I'm all going routine kind of same direction. I'm just going around the silhouette of his body. We'll have some, maybe it's like a snowstorm, so like a few snowflakes kind of blowing in the wind. Like he probably just managed to escape a blizzard, and he just finally made it in. And let's do the other side. Yeah, since snows are kind of blowing in this direction, I'm making all the lines, making sure they're all going in this direction. Some extra shell at the bottom of his feet. Here we go. He has some extra shells around his little sleeves here. Yeah, so we'll be almost done with this very soon. And we got a little more to our sky in the background. Some more of that snow blowing in the wind. And maybe a little darker over here. Add some darker marks here. And guys, I think we are actually done for tonight. So my friends, that is Action Claus coming to a theater near you. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, I really hope you guys really enjoy watching me draw this as much as I enjoy drawing this. I hope to see you guys again very soon. I'll probably be back. If not tomorrow, I'll definitely be back on next Thursday or Friday. Until then, you guys have a wonderful night. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Good night.